Hi, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode in It's Too Hot in Spain, but I'm waking up in the morning. Like, yeah, let's talk about ways to detox the body as you heal from all these diseases and other things that you can do while you are, even if you're not sick, to maintain your health and so on. One of my favorite ones are coffee enemas. I mean, as weird as it sounds, it's amazing. They help produce more glutathione, which is a master antioxidant that helps your body detox. They clear your gallbladder, which is, it makes it contract, caffeine basically. So it helps get rid of a lot of toxins at once. It's just amazing and helps the liver, obviously. So it's not just about a traditional enema. The caffeine in coffee, even though this way does not affect like the usual way, because I don't drink coffee, it helps tremendously to clear out the toxins and to clear the mind and to just feel a lot better. People that do not have Lyme disease or had some sort of disease might not get to this point because it might sound a bit weird, but it's a practice that is also done a lot in the Gerson therapy, which involves a lot of it along minerals and so on, and it does work. That's the Gerson therapy for cancer. So it's just an amazing practice that actually is my favorite one, the one that I use the most and works really good. Make sure to use organic, mold free coffee for that. Uh, you can find it, especially online, it's very easy to find. Obviously, filter it, and yeah, the process to make it, I have a video on it, and it's actually amazing. When you do this kind of enemas, remember to replenish minerals and so on, but is just one of the greatest things that I done to detox from all this Lyme crap and feel better, and I still do, and it's really good. So yeah, rebounding would be my second favorite one. I have like a mini trampoline thing which I use, that moves the lymph like hell, and it works really well. See, congested in the morning. Anyway, it's really helpful. um, I started with like 5, 10, jumps a day, and then I increase it to 20, 30, 100, and then do little rounds of it along the day. That's been really helpful. It's actually helpful again for everyone, not just someone that's healing, but from all this, but for anyone really. Kids do it all the time, but if they have a trampoline and if they find one, they will, So I mean, there's a reason for it, no? In a way, going back to being a kid, really, and it's how we should actually function anyway, no? So I mean, doing all these things is going to help a lot. Swimming as well, it's an amazing way to get rid of all these toxins too. So yeah, obviously drinking water and apporting minerals constantly, because all this, when you're detoxing, you lose a ton of them, and they are really important for the same detox process. So it's really important. Again, I'm talking about Lyme disease. I'm not talking about just like plain detoxing, whatever, because it sounds like, how can I say it? Yeah, for people that do not know the diseases, they don't really understand the word detox when it comes to this. With these infections, produce a lot of neurotoxins, of toxins when they die. That's why there is a die off, the hurt reaction, and so on. So it's not just about detoxing to prevent sickness, it's about once you're sick to get rid of all these leftovers from infections, SIBO, all this crap. Yeah. LPS in the gut, binders would be another one. Things like coconut activated charcoal, zeolites, bentonite, the clays. There are many active, what's that thing called? I can't speak English today. I don't know what's going on. Like apopectin, yeah, that's a really good one as well. So yeah, these are really good too. But again, apport minerals. The thing is, this is gonna bind things in your gut, not in the blood. Um, so you're gonna get rid of some of the toxins in the gut, but not in other places. For neurological, neurolyme, all these things that come with neurotoxicity, there is something from the Cowden protocol which is called Pinella. I personally haven't used it very much because I don't like it, but it helps a lot. If you want to research into it, have a look. For some people, it works really well. Uh, I didn't really like it that much, but it helps. Let's say. Obviously, walking as much as you can, and when you cannot walk, just move. They're like little small movements. Epsom salt baths are incredibly helpful as well. If again you are too weak to do that, just put your food in a bucket with Epsom salt bath. It's going to help a lot as well. There are millions of options of this kind too. Massages also, but be careful with this because it moves a ton of toxins at once. So you can do one and have a binder later on. Like strategies, like the art of detoxing is an art. It really is. Once you understand it and how it works, it makes all the healing reactions and hurt reactions a lot better. But when you don't, you just feel like hell and you don't know why, you don't know what to do. And yeah, so yeah. Um, yeah, obviously, drinking water with, like I said, supporting minerals. Glutathione is something else you can use. I use, not all the time, but sometimes I use liposomal one. I do believe I absorbed a little bit of it, um, but obviously it's better if you have it in IV form because it's the most absorbable way. But still, I do believe the liposomal ones are somewhat absorbable and they help me. So, I don't like NAC that much, which would be another precursor to glutathione. But yeah, you can try. That's N-acetylcysteine. Um, yeah, vitamin C, another great helper to also flush toxins apart from other many other benefits and being a mast cell stabilizer too. What else? Tatka, which I talked about and I have a video about as well. Obviously, moving again, like all sorts of ways and moving, basically. Another very important one, you need your nervous system to calm the hell down. And for this, microdosing psilocybin has been like one of the best things I've done. It was incredible because when you start lowering inflammation, your body finally can start detoxing. So, it's not also much about killing things and mold and candida and this and that. It's more about putting this in place because that's when your body is able to start absorbing food and to start detoxing. If you are in a fight or flight state, that's not going to happen. But when you're in a rest and digest state, or you start being in that state, which is like a vicious cycle anyway, uh, that's going to start happening. And then when obviously getting rid of all that's going to lower inflammation at the same time. So you need to put one loop into another gear and then do it that way. So when you change the gear, or the changing gear thing is the nervous system. Once you're able to somehow, even if it's using microdosing, whatever, change the gear, then your body's going to start doing what it's meant to be doing. Can you do it without? Yeah, you can. If the case is very strong, like mine, like it was, then you will need some help. There are different methods. This is my favorite one because it also helps with immune system, with many other things. But it's very important. This is like the changing gear that's gonna make your body start going into another loop. Let's say, no. Meanwhile, it's just a constant inflammation. And just like, yeah, loops of hell that we need to break. The other loop I always talk about is the histamine estrogen one for women. These loops need breaking at some point, no? So yeah, there are other ways that you can use. Chlorella is also really good. Yeah, MSM powder. If you have no problems with sulfur, it's really helpful as well. Obviously the obvious, no, like things like milk tea, so if it doesn't give you any problems, and this kind of earth dandelion and so on to help the liver. Yeah. So that'll be it, really. I mean, there are plenty of other things that you can add to this list and do. Saunas. I'm not talking about saunas because it's really hot right now. But if it happens that you are able to go to a sauna, or you live in a place where it's very cold, or it's winter, whatever, saunas are fantastic. There are sauna blankets as well. and that's gonna be really helpful, especially for heavy metals. The sweating part is important. um yeah, so that'll be more or less it, basically. There are, again, many other ways that you can actually do, like daily. What I've been doing all this time is doing, not all of it at the beginning I did, but many of these things daily, increasing slowly, slowly, slowly. And again, at the beginning I couldn't barely, I couldn't stand up, and I couldn't, nothing was working, so I had to go very slow to be at the point I am. um, and yeah, but when you start, there is a moment, the changing gears, I guess, where you just start trusting your body again, and this is key. It takes a while for this to happen, and it takes a while for you to believe it. That's why it's so important to keep repeating and keep doing, and all these things, no? um so yeah, what other ways can you use for detoxing? I mean, any of these things. I mean, I used to take, like, I had the list, no, it was just here, I had this, and in one side, in one page, I had what I was taking. At the time there was no life at all, there was nothing, so that was all I could do. So in one page I had the what I'm taking kind of thing. In the other one, the lifestyle things I had to do daily, all these I just said. So, for instance, I would wake up, do the coffee enema. Then later on, I would jump. Then later on, and I used to make it in a very mechanical way at the beginning because I was so bad. I had to. There was no other way. I didn't fancy or enjoy any of it, to be honest. It was more like I have to. And yeah, so this kind of almost military style of healing, I was doing it for a really long time, doing small walks that at the beginning were like just 3 steps. All this, I believe, is what brought me to this place, along diet, along, yeah, the combination of all these things. So there has never been one thing. Again, I believe these diseases are very terrain based mostly. So you need to put the equilibrium back into place. And this is where do you live, who you live with, what you think, what you do, nervous system work, all of it at once, everything you take, everything, all of it. So it's not just like, I see many people. Someone told me if you have a really, really horrible case like mine was, especially with neuroinflammation and that brutality, you have two options: you make it or you don't. And I know many who don't, which I'm deeply sad about, which I explained in another video as well, about who they were, and yeah. But if you do, you do. You're not gonna be staying in between. But there are many people that they don't have such a bad case, therefore they stay in a line where they are not doing things. And you have to be very constant with it. You cannot stop and do one random thing here, one random thing there, because that's not going to work at all. You need to be constant like hell, and just don't stop and go over and over and over. That's how you heal from this, unfortunately. And I'm incredibly, how you call it, like, persistent like hell. If I want something, I get it. So in this case, this actually saved my life. But many people are not like that, or are not able. Um, but again, I believe it's because the case was so barbaric that I had no other choice. And even though many others have barbaric cases in different ways, when you get that kind of Bartonella neuroinflammation, you either come out of it or that's that. So, there was no choice. So, yeah, but I would advise to people that are in these not so brutal situations to also be constant, because this is like, eventually, the mindset plus this plus all these things I just said is what's going to heal you. There is no magic pill, there is nothing that magically is going to, heal you. It's the combination of this nervous system, who you live with, whatever trauma you can have, which everyone, sick or not, can have, energetically, diet, place, toxin free place, to keep it is exactly the same, but living. So, yeah, that'll be the whole story, the whole thing. Another really good one, uh, it's oil pulling. I had to pull out all my molars, which I still haven't put back, by the way, which is kind of a nightmare. But yeah, oil pulling is going to be really helpful. Another very interesting thing when you're detoxing is how pay attention to your tongue. When I have a lot of dye off, my tongue turns black. It's very, very common. Um, and it's kind of scary. First, that's when I know that, you know, like stop a little bit. But when it's summer, that, already just living on itself detoxes you, it's really hard to stop. But then you can increase the ways in which using more binders, whatever you do. So, yeah, um, that's just, the candida thing is not, the tongue thing and having it white or whatever is not just about that. It's also about when your gut is overloaded with toxins and many other things. That's why, many doctors used to pay attention to the tongue. They don't anymore. I wish they did. Chinese medicine too, and so on, because it can tell a lot. Same with how is it called? Iridology, which I don't know much about, but same thing. It's a shame that we lost all these modalities and they are coming back. They are not alternative. They are the main ones, and they are not archaic. It's just that we need to relearn all these again. But again, healing is a whole thing. There's not just gonna be one thing, or that thing, or whatever thing. So yeah, the oil pulling is really, really helpful. You just have to take some coconut oil, hold it in your mouth for like, move it around for like, switch it around for like, I don't know, as much as you can. If you can 20 minutes, that's brilliant. And then just put it somewhere that is not the sink, because it blocks the sink, by the way. So be careful with that. Just, somewhere else. And yeah, that's all I can think about at the minute. There are, again, many other ways. And just try to slowly incorporate these things into your life. And eventually, for sure, you're gonna slowly improve. But if you keep going from one random thing and then stop and then the other and you don't resolve all these internal things, and then that's not gonna work. Same to maintain it again, So I mean, all this has to be like clockwork, it has to work all together at once. So it's bloody hard work. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. And to maintain it, same thing. So don't get pissed off with people either. Um, if you actually, like myself, sometimes you need support and to maintain it. And after all the hell, imagine, just don't get pissed off if people do not understand. This battle is for yourself. And yeah, you need these things and people and so on, but that's how it works. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get ready. I'm gonna try to get. Apparently, there was a storm yesterday, and whenever there's a storm, the signal just goes. And I don't know what's up with this, but yeah, already I do have very bad connection here. I need to get one of these, star whatever. But I just don't like the guy that owns it. So I'm trying to see what better forest connection I can get. But many days the signal is just gone. So yeah. Anyway, I hope I can see you next time. Subscribe if you like, and just leave in the comments if you have any other, recommendation for detoxing while on this, and it worked really well for you. Let us know, and that'll be it. Have a good day. Bye.